We see more people coming. So in the meanwhile, okay, so it's now very good time for us to check our microphones and all the rest. So we will start in a minute. So as long as we are clicking the buttons, letting people in, let's have a good music here set, and we know that we have to organize ourselves better these days. It requires more preparation. Sometimes, well, we don't have traffic on our roads, but still some things don't allow us to be in time. So I think we will now start. Okay, I see that more people started, so let us slowly dive into still more people here joining. Okay, so I think let us start. Even that the bossa nova in the background is really nice. So welcome everyone. I'm really glad to have you here. We welcome you here in our monthly webinar. I don't know if everyone is aware, but we are holding the jewelry e-commerce webinars every month. So sometimes these are physical events that we have, and actually I was invited to have an event. This event should be handled in Thailand by the invitation of eBay Thailand, but well, things are changing fast nowadays. So so we are now in our homes, and our plans change quickly. So we are here at this webinar every month. We hold this event. It might be an event in your place. We planned to be in June in United States. still we don't know if this will happen or not. And now we're doing it online. If 2 months ago we were using JoinMe simply because people did not know how to install software, so today using Zoom or other systems is quite normal. So I asked to join. Today I asked a very special person to join us at this webinar. In these days, when everything changes very quickly, it's very important to be updated with things happening online, and not just online, but specifically happening in the jewelry world. This is why I invited today Gadi Gertel, who is one of the most probably experienced specialists, seeing a lot of businesses, seeing a lot of jewelry businesses, being jewelry business consultant for many years, and also being the CEO of jewelry Israeli Jewelers Association. So this puts Gadi in the position of having seeing many businesses and giving him the ability to actually look at the picture from above, to see to actually give some summary on what happens these days in the jewelry world. And we asked, and we're very glad that Gadi was ready to share from his experience on the jewelry trends, how to identify them, what makes actually the jewelry business with no relation, maybe, or with less relation to Corona, which, yes, today we are, everything what happens is related in this way or another to Corona. How to identify these trends and how to make things move correctly, specifically from the jewelry point of view. Let's remember that we are speaking all our webinars, all we're speaking today is not just some general e-commerce stuff, it's not some general what happens in the world stuff. We are very targeted on how things that are happening around us, how they influence the jewelry, what we can do specifically related to jewelry. So let us switch to Gadi, and hopefully we will have a very, I'm sure we will have a very informative and interesting presentation there about the jewelry trends.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you hear me. Okay. Welcome, everyone, to this session about the trends in the jewelry markets. I would like to thank very much to Igor for hosting me and us this special occasion during those crazy days we are having all over the world, especially at business and, of course, health before everything. So we're going to talk today about the trends and what are trends and how can it be in jewelry and how can it affect our business dramatically. And because we're having kind of a pause in our business activity, unfortunately for everyone, we need to, reorganize our business and to think again, how can we improve ourselves and improve our inventory and the supply we are offering our customers. So let's dive inside. Just 2 words on myself. I'm, as Igor says, I'm in the jewelry business for 16 years. I'm the head of the Israel Jewelers Association in Israel. I'm regional advisor of Vicenza Oro, Oro Arezzo, and TDC in Hong Kong. I visit and have a lot of time in those exhibitions around the world. I know exactly what the trends are. So in those difficult days, I would like to share with you some useful information and to give you some, points to think about and the actual steps and really, really important tools. So let's talk about some encouraging information. What's going on in the jewelry world, just for a minute. I don't know if you know, but the jewelry all-around market revenue is huge. So we're talking about at 19 around 301 billion. Of course, there is a huge question mark on 2020, and everyone really afraid and curious about what will happen. But I would like to be optimistic in this session and really hoping that we're gonna have we will be back in business in a couple of months and maybe less than that. So I know that a lot of people are afraid, but be optimistic. There is no other way. As long as we have humanity, we have consuming. So don't worry. And all of those cliches are really, it's real. So be optimistic. Okay. So of course, if we will jump up of this huge obstacles of the coronavirus crisis that we're having nowadays, we are expecting a huge growth of around 9%, a little bit less in every year until 2025. Of course, we know that because we see of course, the population is getting bigger, and the consuming abilities and of course culture is changing in front of our eyes. And we can see, of course, that the e-commerce is getting bigger and bigger every time. Everyone read about the last holidays in the United States that 40% of the sales were from e-commerce, from online sales. So we are really, really happy that everything is getting much easier for us, and don't forget that it's very cheap. If you compare it to physical stores or chain stores or whatever, we can see that the differences are huge. So I'm very glad that people have this opportunity to grow their online business, and you should be very attractive. And now we're going to dive into those tools that I just spoke about. Okay. So what are trends? Trends in general topic is that jewelry trends are fashion waves, exactly like in clothes. As in every fashion, jewelry trends are the most crucial influence in the fierce worldwide jewelry competition. But there is one condition: we should be involved in the trends. It's because we should be above the wave and not be beneath, and not be low because we are just, we lost customers. So it's very important us to be very involved, and I'm going to give you some tools to do it. So okay, one of the major obstacles we having in jewelry business is that we really getting confusing all the time, because there are so many things that can be hard to understand. The market, the huge. So fashion is very, very difficult thing to understand. And now I'm going to be very focused with your permission. So let's start. In the jewelry field, we have two basic dilemmas. The first one is being the wide variety of jewelry, from cheap fashion jewelry to luxury jewelry worth of a car. And it's very hard for us to guess what types of jewelry we should dealing with. So that's the first question, first dilemma. Another one is the variety of designs that makes the competition, especially the competition in the online world, tougher. So here in my presentation, I want to concentrate how you will make an order in this mess, and to concentrate on the supplying that will be that your supply will be much attractive, and you will be familiar with that. You don't miss the customers, because one of the major things in online life that we have in a very short credit, especially in the mobile dimension, and we need to be very attractive and to stimulate the customer's eye to stay and not run away in a minute. So what should we do? First of all, one of the regular things that people do in the jewelry business is they copy, they replicate, they gamble, they really don't know how to make their supply attractive. So they just go after what they see as near as they can, and they see the neighbor and whatever, and it's very confusing. So we'll start with three basic laws, with the three monkeys that we should open your ears. What I mean that you should ask your colleagues, you should ask your competitors, you should see and be awake of what's going on in the markets. You should talk and be involved, ask people, ask your customers, do surveys, ask for feedbacks, be in control. What I mean is that you should don't gamble, okay? There are very strict laws, very strict rules in this business that you should learn, and we will go to talk about it in a minute. And of course, see. And that this is your major homework from this session is I will try to teach you. Of course, it's a long run session, but explore the net, dive into the internet, and we will talk about it in a minute. Investigate marketplaces, you well know, like Etsy and Amazon and whatever. Understand your target markets, and of course supply what is needed and not what you think. Okay, so what are jewelry trends? What are we talking about? How can I see trends? So, sorry. Okay. There are five major effects which affect the trends, and we're going to get into into it. The first one is cycles of designs. We all know that fashion and period are recurring elements in the design lines. The reason why first has a limit how much you can design in addition. So of course we're talking about jewelry and the size of a jewelry. There is no unlimited designs. Okay, of course we can change little things, but the physical size is makes life very hard for a designer to be very attractive and very original. So those cycles makes us or force us to repeating similar successful design every couple of years to maintain high revenues for long terms. And the four basic effects of those cycles are traditional jewelry that everyone knows, the engagement diamond rings that everyone knows, rational buying that people are wants to buy jewelry just to fit their clothes, design jewelry, and emotional buying, which is of course what is the important thing in our industry, that we are dealing with emotional purchase and not rational purchase, which affects people and encourage them to invest in an item that can affect their mood, and that's very important. The second one is atmosphere expressions, which of course atmosphere change, as we all feel those days, directly affects our mood and consumption culture. The corona crisis, as we all know, unfortunately affecting our mood and change. And of course it will reflect the designs, the next designs that upcoming in the next month. If so far we have had a transition to openness and sharing, the corona can affect, I'm not sure it will, but it can affect the design lines or design atmosphere to be more close, or we can go back and return to conservative lines and less colorful lines. Originality sets you apart from the competition, and of course give you the justification to acquire new and returning consumers. Of course, to be original is the most important thing for a designer, and that's what makes us different from our competitors. But we need to be very careful not to fall in love with our creations, and that we think and we are sure that everything is amazing, but it's not getting sold. So the super designers can afford to being out of the mainstream lines and diverge, because of course they're branded. So because they're branded and they well known, they don't care, and of course that's what their interest to push up from the mainstream lines and to invent themselves every time. That's why you should be very aware that to get too much from the mainstream lines can satisfy yourself but not your customers, and it could be one of the main reasons that you're not selling. So of course you should be very aware and of course, be as much as you can original once you know for sure that you will sell. Social influences are, of course, one of the Okay, are we back? We had a problem here. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Social influences are the most affected. Okay, no, I hope you hear me because we have some problems. Social influence.
Very well, it's fine. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Oh, very well.
We just have only a few minutes left, but yes, we can hear you well.
All right. Thanks. Okay, so social influences, of course, are, designers, well-known designers, effects, celebrities, and of course, media. The media is nowadays for sure with Instagram and Facebook, and we all know that people are very aware of what's going on in the net. They see millions of pictures every month, and it is affect them. And of course, after a period of time, if they want or not, it is affect their needs and their choose what to buy. That's why we should be very aware and to see exactly what our competitors are publish and which kind of design lines are nowadays on the net. Social influencers are the most dominant influencer in the trends and express the artifacts. Everyone, this is basically the most important destination for any business to get on the wave and provide customers with what they are looking for and not what you want. Okay, it's very, very important. Of course, this is where the influential, if you see, you need to see what our competitors are publishing with their ambassadors. The celebrities are doing very good job, and they make those influences very, very easy on young people. And of course, we should be aware of that. Successful models are, never change a winning team. What can I say more? Everyone knows exactly about their core collection and what is the top sale items, and of course, everyone needs to know, have to know exactly what he's doing and what is his best assets. Successful models are the basics, for the business insight. The bottom line is never change it. Every business needs to build its own or best-selling core collection. Our main goal is to learn our customer needs, and of course how to maximize the core products to maximum of the time. So our main goal is to expand our core collection and to make us with eye chance to sell, of course. And we all know that what sells better, and the goal is to increase, of course, those sales. That's why we need, and of course, I'm recommending to digging deep into the net, as I just said, and to learn what the best sellers of our competitors. Don't be shy. Do this job. We have to do it. We have to know what's going on in the field. It's a battlefield nowadays, so we need to get some ammo and go forward. We need to know exactly what is aiming us and what are our competitor assets, and it's not a shame. We just need to do it. So where can I learn those trends, okay, and about what's going on in the market, in my local market? So we're going to just, you can see that on the screen, the international companies. I want you to recommend you to get into their websites and just see their design lines, and to see Tiffany & Co. and Mikimoto and Ridgeline and all of those famous names all over the world. Those companies invest a lot of efforts and a lot of money to research the markets and to supply, and of course to bring their customers what's the best and what is the updated collections. So it's very easy for us to get into their websites and just to see, not to copy. I will never say that, but I want you to feel, to breathe the design lines and to understand what is going on. They are very updated, and I will very recommend those three factors. Top designers are people that very famous and well experienced designers that got their name with a lot of work. Just follow them by Google. Follow the international designers as David Yurman, Bulgari. Of course, what I'm talking about, it depends on which kind of jewelry level we are talking about. Of course, there are many differences. Another great tool is to...
Gadi, we just got a few minutes. Oh, just.
Yeah, okay. Another great tool is to get into the marketplaces like Etsy and Amazon, and to see their top sales, their top sellers, see their supply, see what about the pricing, and of course you can see the feedbacks, and it's very, very important tool to understand what's going on in your local market, in the global one. As I said before, with the social networks, we need to see the ads, what's going on, and in Instagram, even in magazines and whatever. It's very important. Another great tool is, of course, physically to go to international exhibitions like Vicenza Oro in Italy, or Hong Kong, or in Urgenta in München, and to see very slowly the supply there, and see exactly, especially in September, around September, because most of the manufacturers are doing the next year supply. And the last tool is a Trend Vision Forecasting Company, which I'm not sure you know this company. It's a company owned by the IEG, the Italian Exhibition Group, that doing almost 20 years jewelry design research, and they forecast or predict the next year of trends. That's why they call, of course, Trend Vision. Ideal environments on the internet. So, of course, you can go into the Vincenzo Oro website and to search for the exhibitors list, and go into, of course, it's a very hard work, but you go one by one and understand your jewelry level manufacturers, what they're supplying, what they're offering every time. And of course, you can see the last link here of YouTube. You should search for Trend Vision last session.
Let's leave it. Yeah, we can actually send this presentation to whoever is interested, and they will be able to research it, because now we already have to switch to Q&As. If you just want to summarize it in a few seconds, then of course I'll be glad to hear. But let's switch to Q&A.
Okay, so just what are our present trends? So it's big sizes, jewelry names, fine jewelry, small diamonds, lower prices, even especially today, colors, gems, and of course more bracelets, less rings, because the big companies are understood that the after-sale services with rings is too hard, too expensive. Unfortunately, as I said before, it could be the coronavirus could affect our design for the next month or the next year design line. So it could be much more cheaper and traditional. Bottom line is to be active. So you should don't think that everything is staying. You should be very aware. It's very important not to fall into depression, and to understand that there's nothing to do right now. The other thing is look for the next wave, and that's why we are talking today. We should investigate the internet, and of course our environment market, and to understand when and where the next wave will come. Be aware. It's very important to get out of your comfort zone, and to look for customers and that looking for today. So it's not just to as I said before, we need to be in those days exactly like a sniper, that be very accurate. We need to know our obstacles, and of course be focused. That's it for today. I hope I gave you some important tools that you can use. Of course, if anyone wants, you can contact me by mail. That's it, Igor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gadi. For me, at least, again, being more into e-commerce, even that it's jewelry e-commerce, being a more as an e-commerce guy, I saw some important things. I completely agree that nothing stays forever. So just be with your eyes open and follow and look at the world around you is probably the most important tool. Actually, now at this stage, if somebody has some questions, welcome to ask, welcome to write them. We planned a little bit more time for this, but I don't think that we have too much. So welcome to write your questions in the chat. In the meanwhile, I will invite our administrator to switch the recording, to switch to the next part, which actually is the is speaking about more about e-commerce part. So if the questions arrive also to Gadi again, feel free to write them, and we'll find some time at the end of the presentation. I will try to be a little bit more, faster in this, in presenting, so that you will have some time to go back to your families too. Even that, I'm sure that both me and Gadi will have a lot of information to give out ours, but let's try to switch to our next theme. So I wanted to, recently we see a very important switch, which I want to discuss today. So everybody is focused on the corona. Everybody understands that the world is changing. Everybody understands that it changes into the next month. So the question is, what happens after this next month? Okay, and how we can actually be adequate in this. Be adequate in how we prepare ourselves, what we actually do, and what actually happens around us. So I wanted, first of all, from my perspective as an e-commerce person, I will show you some interesting, I hope, statistics that that show the world not exactly as I even was expecting. So of course, all of us sit at home, or well, as the country around allows us, maybe still in the office, small office, but we are concentrated on everything goes down. And it's exactly as Gadi spoke about being updated about the real numbers. So the same is also here. So we here in Valigara, I'll just give 2 words. What we do here in Valigara, we provide the technology for jewelry e-commerce. So we are very fortunate to work with most experienced e-commerce sellers, also the guys who start to sell online, but also we have very established people who work online for 10 and sometimes 20 years. So when we look at the numbers look a little bit not unexpected, I would say. So let me a little bit fascinate you with the numbers that happen. So we all of us know, and we see it in our clients, that March was quite disastrous for retail and also the e-commerce. And now, 2 days ago, the CEO of Etsy.com, Josh came and said, guys, it looks like Etsy starts working again. And we were not amused by this at all, because what we see that the last 2 weeks, really, our clients start to sell back. So we are very privileged here, because we see real e-tailers, real businesses that work online. We see that they start to sell. Okay, so leaving the curious, like anecdotic sides, examples aside, we have, for example, a very interesting seller who sold more than $120,000 of fine jewelry on eBay last month. This is amazing, but this is more of anecdotic situation, which is not normal for all the rest of the world, which is a little bit in stagnation. So, but when we look at the last 2 weeks of e-commerce, this is how it looks. And it looks like, yeah, okay, I clicked the, okay. So when we look at the April, we will see that beginning of April was completely a mess, and in the middle of April. But what is interesting here, so I grabbed a few graphs from within.co. It's a very interesting platform to look at the numbers. And what we actually see that also in the luxury, the last 2 weeks, the last, starting from 25 of March, it really looks like it's coming back. So what actually happens, I'm not saying that the life is beautiful and everyone is already happy and the virus is behind us. No, we will see a very serious days here, serious interruptions, both from the demand and both from the offer, I mean, from the manufacturer side. But the interesting thing is that exactly as we see in different, I look at it on the macro level, at also if we look at the countries, how they adopt to the situation. So if we speak that, let's say I can compare it from my personal experience between Israel and the United States, the corona came to Israel somewhere like 3 weeks before the United States. And what we see is this gap between this exactly the same 3 weeks that happened now in the United States. And the interesting thing is that once this 3 weeks, and this is what I was speaking all the March, wait for 3 weeks. And the interesting thing is exactly happening right now, the last days, that we see that people again start to buy. Now, again, it's obvious that in fashion it happens. It's obvious, and this is very interesting, that this omni-channel, the omni-channel graph actually shows that who actually gains more opportunity is the people who manufacture. This is most interesting observation here. The e-tailers, the classical only e-tailers who resell, they are already harmed by the virus, by corona, because they don't get the ability to manufacture themselves. They don't have the ability to resell something. The e-tailers, like e-commerce retailers, they don't manufacture, so they are going down. While the omni-channel, this small proportion of people who are selling both online and offline, means they also produce most often. So these guys go and start to get back to operation. Why? Because we also are harmed by, on side of the manufacturing of the production of the offer. So we know that about 70–80% of the operation is closing online because people don't have the access to their manufacturers. So the manufacturers who are able to work in these days, means shipping, delivery, customer service, these guys actually enjoy the most. And it's an interesting observation which was not clear to me, let's say 2 weeks ago. Now, the next thing, what actually happens, and we see that the retail, of course, is harmed very much, and this is why I decided to call the next slide retail. From retail, it converts to e-tail. Why? Because we're locked at our homes, so we cannot open the store, the physical store. So the retail has to switch to e-tail. We know that many retail chains already filed for bankruptcy, and this actually is an interesting situation because what happened? These retail chains, they operate they are very big chains, and they operate at very low profitability level. So if you look at the market at, let's say, half a year or a year forward, we'll actually see that it cleans up the market from the chains that eat a huge part of the market. But on the other side, they do not create any additional value, so they are on a very low margin. And what happens at the same time, the omni-channel guys, the manufacturers who manufacture and also sell, they are the shortest supply chain. They actually enjoy it most. So what happens at the same time in e-commerce? So I just want to show a few numbers, maybe to take you a little bit out of from the corona shock that we're experiencing. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that every crisis is an opportunity, and I just want to show you these numbers. So most known is that Amazon is currently hiring 100,000 people for the logistics, mostly. At the same time, let people know that Walmart is hiring 150,000 people. This is amazing numbers. And Walmart exists in 27 countries. So with that, about 60% is the United States, but still, Walmart, Amazon, and some Chinese company called JD.com, I just, by accident, I just saw that they are hiring currently 5,000 people. So the e-commerce at the same time, everybody is waiting on one side, but on the other side, making a lot of preparation. I will speak about it again later, because this is the key thing here. We see that e-commerce is moving to the next level. So if we think what actually happens now in the industry, in the jewelry industry, or anywhere in the world, we're being taken 10 years forward. Why I'm saying this number? Because if we look what happens with the online growth in the United States, so groceries grew by 100% in March. Average growth of e-commerce purchase, it's not just groceries, it's also if you provide something for home and garden, health and beauty, equipment for sport, you're in a very good place now. I'm not saying that jewelry is there, but what happens, the average growth online in March is 25%. Now, if we look at the expectations, expectation for the growth on e-commerce were the same 25% in 4 years. And this is amazing. So we are being pushed in 1 month by 4 years forward, and we are not there yet. We are not done yet. So what actually happens now that the brands, the sellers who had this 10 years to think, to plan, to get into, to coordinate, to investigate. Instead of these 10 years, we were actually taken forward, fast forward by 10 years in 1 month. Or let's say 4 years in this 1 month, but there are another months to come. So we are waking up every day in a different world. And this is amazing. So 25% in 1 month instead of 4 years, I think it's amazing. But the most interesting thing that I believe that happens right now is actually, well, two things. One thing is that the 40 plus are the people, are the family, the householders who have the money, who raise their kids, who are actually buying more expensive jewelry, for example. They are pushed to make a switch in their purchase behavior. So normally we know that the millennials are the guys that are buying online everything, also the jewelry, and we always think of our online buyer as somebody young. And now, especially, this is why I gave the statistic about the groceries. So the millennials, obviously, they buy groceries online every day, not just because of the corona. It's their purchase habit. This is how they buy things. I say they because I'm 43. But what actually happens is a very interesting thing. The 40 plus guys, those people who have the families, have the money, have some wealth, they get this habit of purchasing online. And this is not something that you can take it off, right? You cannot fast forward it or back forward it. Once they get this habit, we have a totally new part of the world, actually, right? That is buying online instead of 10 years in 2-3 months. So I hear my friends. Well, I'm an e-commerce guy, so for me buying online is totally normal. I buy bulbs for my home. I buy online. But I hear from my friends that say I never buy groceries online because I want to touch the tomatoes. Yes, but this is the first time this is when they buy, and suddenly it comes out that it's not that horrible. So what actually happens is this switch in the behavior, and this is irreversible. Now, there is a very interesting opportunity now that the marketplaces are giving much more warm welcome to sellers. Normally, when you go online, you are very limited by any marketplace, which actually protects their buyers, protects their traffic. And the marketplaces are the #1 step into the e-commerce, simply because, well, it's easy to build a website maybe today, but then how do you bring people into your website? So marketplaces solve this situation. When you start selling on eBay, Amazon, or Etsy, or Walmart, or Sears, then you already have the traffic, and they are interested to bring these buyers to you because maybe you're a better seller. So these marketplaces now they're much more give you a much more warm welcome. And what we see also, as I already said, we already see that Etsy officially they said it a few days ago, and we see it also on our sales statistic graphs that also eBay performs quite well. So Amazon is currently very much under pressure because of their warehouses limitations. So, but we are quite sure that they will figure it out in a few weeks. So this is the situation that the retail from the classical retail is being taken into the into the e-commerce retail very fast. So so what do we do to get there? What do we do to understand? Because everybody knows, yes, online is coming, blah blah blah. What actually we can do? First of all, we have to understand your business. And we're not opening a new business. When I speak to everybody here in this room, I'm not saying, okay, let's open tomorrow a construction business. Let's open a nice pizzeria. Let's open this and this. We have a business, and we have to take the existing big business and utilize the existing utilize it in a new way. Because actually, online and offline is just the purchasing habits. That's it. And this is the only thing that is changing. Actually, it's a huge change. So when we look at going online, first of all, we don't look at all the Amazon numbers, eBay numbers. We look at ourselves. We have to profile our own business and understand where we match. So I want to give a few examples how it can work. So if I'm a production manager, if I'm a production company, mass production, I am good for eBay and Etsy. For eBay and Amazon. Why? Because they are much more into the logistics. So if I can do mass production, I can create big lines. I can save on this small proportion of production. Then I'm good for global markets like eBay, Amazon, Walmart, Sears, Tmall, wherever it is, right? Anyway. And then on the other side, if I'm one of a kind or handmade or do-it-yourself, then of course I will be more effective on niche markets like Artfire, 11 Main, Etsy, Amazon Handmade. There is plenty of them. Ruby Lane. The same about the design. The global markets. Again, let's forget that it's online or offline. If I go to a mall, if I go to Walmart, probably I'm buying a T-shirt for my son. Maybe I'm buying something for my house, and then on the same opportunity, I buy some jewelry for my wife because we have anniversary. Meaning that the designs, as they are more classic, simple, cost-effective, it's a global market. On the other side, if I get into the specialized shop like Etsy, like Amazon Handmade, like 11 Main, Ruby Lane, these guys, when will I get into some specific specialized shop? When I want some more specific design, interesting design, or something special. On the other side, if my product line is large, then I will go to a global market. If it's small, then I cannot allow it to myself. Why? Because I will be actually eaten by the big guys who have 2,000, 5,000. When I speak about large product line, it's about 800,000 products. If you have a 200, 300 products, then it's better to start on the niche markets. Why? Because people are more engaged there. Your buyers are more engaged. Now, example, if you work with stone shapes, then if it's a round, simple stones, which is about 80%, for example, of US market, then it's a global market. If you have more fancy shapes, then niche markets can work well for you. With stones, it's less critical, but still, we see very good manufacturers working with fancy shapes also on eBay, Etsy, and Amazon, and Walmart, of course. Now, customizable DIY. Global markets, you have to understand that Amazon's power is its logistics. Amazon's power is its mass production. customizable or do it yourself cannot be made in mass production. So we are no-go for global markets. Again, I'm being very blunt here, very sharp here. Of course, there are good brands doing great DIY and customizable shops on global markets like Amazon and eBay, but it will take you much more time to establish these stores. Compared to, let's say, Etsy or Amazon Handmade, where buyers are ready for this. So this is one example how you profile your business. Another thing, so I already touched it. According to logistics, as you look at your logistics, if your logistics is flawless, perfect, and amazing, you are good to go into global markets. By the way, it doesn't mean that you cannot work on niche markets like smaller markets like Etsy, for example. Okay, but to be also in global markets, you have to have a very relatively the importance of logistics is much higher. You have to be much more ready to stay, for example, 5 days shipping and ability to send your items to FBA, for example, because 80% of Amazon purchases are from FBA fulfillment by Amazon, which means the Amazon warehouses. So if my items are no good, why? Because I produce them after they are being sold, like DIY, for example, or customizable, not DIY, then I simply cannot utilize the power of FBA. Means I will lose 80% of sellers on Amazon. So the same thing just to mention that you walk through Walmart and you see, oh, this is a nice jewelry. Can you sell it to me? No, it will take me 20 days. Will you buy it? Probably not, because you're buying a T-shirt, as we say it. You're buying a new phone because your phone got broken, and then something for the house, new bulbs, as I said, and then the jewelry. On the niche markets, when people get there, they're ready to wait. They're much more tolerant to weaker logistics. Now, the budgets, very important thing. If I'm a small seller, it will be quite challenging for me to compete with the big guys. And the big guys, of course, they look for global markets, because what actually do global markets give you? They give you the scalability. If you're doing things right, then it's normal that you get to $1 million a month sales on Amazon, because it's scalable. And it would be quite strange to expect that you will sell on Bonanza or on Etsy or on Artfire $1 million a month. So if you're looking for bigger scale, you're looking for global markets. If you're smaller, because also you have to budget this growth, then you start with the niche markets. So this is one example of how you should profile yourself and take your existing business into online, because online again is just the way how people buy. And this is changing now, right? But it doesn't mean that you can change your business in 1 day or 1 month. Next examples is your match, your relevancy. So the product match. Well, U.S. market is 70 or 80% 14 gold. So if you produce 18 gold, probably you should go to Europe. Treated diamonds. eBay is about 60% about treated diamonds. Amazon doesn't allow it. So each one of you have to investigate your product and your target market. So this should be the match. The price range, if you're selling items above $20,000, first of all, marketplaces are not for you. You should only stay on your website. Your website, maybe auctions website, and of course with social marketing and email marketing. But price very much influences how your buyers will approach the purchase. And they probably, there are very known numbers that Amazon does not sell well above $1,000. On the other side, or if you're in the fashion jewelry, then you can use Bonanza. If you're in a fine jewelry, then Overstock can be good for you. So the match, I'm making a switch from the external world to your world. You have to to profile yourself and see. Now, especially now that we have problems with logistics, localization. So if you're based in United Kingdom, of course, use Amazon UK. 70% of purchases in UK start from Amazon. In jewelry, it's amazing numbers. So if you're based in South America, then go to Mercado Libre, because in South America, as much more localized the market is, the marketplace is, the channel is, so better is your protection. Because if you start with a global market like eBay.com or Amazon.com or Etsy.com, then you will compete with the whole world. And then if you're based in US, then Sears and Walmart, they are very protected marketplaces. Only US companies can get into these marketplaces, and this is amazing, because then you have much more advantage over all the rest of the world. So additional thing that it's important to take to stay focused on this. When you have a physical presence, stress it, because the major problem we have online as e-commerce people, we have the problem of trust. When I stand in a physical store and I see the jewelry, I hold it in my hand. Okay, I see the jewelry. I am sure that I will get it. Now, when buying online, I'm not sure. I have this week or 2 weeks when I am in the most stress, because I don't know if I will receive the jewelry. I will receive something that I already bought. So when you have the ability to create the omni-channel experience, the omni-channel means the combination of online and offline. This is a very, very big advantage. Of course, you can do it only in your country or even in your city. But it's important to stress, yes, we exist not only online but also offline. It's a big advantage. So so this is an example of how to approach this. Now, we can speak about it for hours. We can speak about it for years. It's not enough. But with that, when I planned to speak, I wanted to be very, very much practical. And this practical thing, by the way, you can already shoot your questions in the chat. What means practical? These days are very unstable days. So, which means we don't know what will happen in 2 weeks. We don't know what will happen in 2 months. And this makes the creation of long-term plans almost irrelevant. You have to plan for week, month, 3 months. So if in a normal time when jewelers reach out to Valigara and ask us, what do you think about this? And we always say, look, it's a 2-year strategy. But in this case, our focus must be very, very short term, because we don't know where we will be in 2 years. So what I actually want to concentrate on when you as a jeweler ask yourself, okay, I have this dead time, I cannot do anything, I cannot work now, my store is closed, I don't have any sales, right? So what can I do in this 1 week? So I very much concentrated it. First thing to go online. If we define this as our goal is to start digitizing our catalog. What does this mean? It's not just having 5 images. Of course, photos is number one. You have to photograph your items, but it's not enough. The classical, pack shot. It's called pack shot. 5 images. So I have the five images, but that's not enough. In addition to this, we also have I call it numbers. So the difference between selling online and offline is that offline, nobody cares how many grams is the item, because they feel the jewelry on their body, in their hand, right? This grams and sizing and the dimensions and shank width and the closure and type of the closure, is it a lobster or whatever it is. This is the digitizing. You have to digitize all the information. Means take some Excel or take some management system like what actually Valigara does, right? Take that someplace and start having your information not just in your head, but written down in some form that will be available for people online. This is the digitizing, and this is something that I said as a first goal: target 30 to 50 models. From our experience of many years with many jewelers online, you don't have to build your online catalog from day one, all your hundreds or maybe thousands of models that you have. The minimal representation of the catalog is about 30, 50 models. I'm not speaking about products. I'm speaking just models, because one model means one design. It can be done in white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, gold fields, silver, brass, whatever. It can be zirconia, it can be agate, it can be amethyst, diamond. Diamond can be 1 carat, 1.5 carat, 70 points. The model can be presented in multiple options, but the first goal, 30, 50 models, allows you to establish some variety of products when you go online. So don't plan, oh, I have 1,000 models, it will take me 2 years. Yes, it will. But if we want to complete something in 1 week, then 30 to 50 models are enough. And this is something that you can do. And the next thing on what we can do this week to take our business to the next level is actually selecting the e-commerce person. It doesn't mean that this should be BA mathematics or computer science or BSc whatever, MBA or all this strange abbreviations. No, it will be somebody from our team, somebody in-house. And as a business owner, I will allocate 2 to 4 hours a day, depends how much you can, but not less than, at the start, not less than 2 hours a day, that you'll say, okay, you are the office manager, and we know there is no office, the office is closed. So yes, we can send this guy for a month, to unemployment. But on the other side, if we have the stability, then we will allocate 2 to 4 hours. Somebody, maybe my daughter who works with me for the last 5 years, not mine, well, mine is 6 years old, but we will allocate somebody in the team who is just digital enough, to run some basic system or to run even Excel. To allocate the e-commerce person. And this is something that nowadays we have, especially the time for this. We have this, fortunately or unfortunately, every crisis is opportunity. We have this peace of mind. We didn't ask for this. We have this industrial silence. We don't have to work every day from 9 to 9 to maintain the existing things, because it's a little bit lower now. So allocate part of your team, maybe somebody who is running your store and knows your jewelry perfectly, that will do this. Not necessarily some mega specialist in e-commerce. No. Next thing, profile your business, as we spoke. So we have a prepared checklist. Just contact us, we will send it to you. But generally, as I showed in the previous 2 screens, see your business in the e-commerce world. And for this, just learn the ecosystem. Enter Amazon, enter Etsy, enter eBay, enter few channels. I'm not saying start selling. No, just enter and learn how it works. At the same time, try to understand what services exist outside. So there are managed services, very good companies that operate hundreds of stores. So you can say, okay, maybe I don't want to develop it in-house. I will take somebody on outsourcing. What are the carriers, shipping? What is the insurance service that exists in my place that will be cheaper for me? And of course, what is the technology? What I need to know? How I will to work online? How do I build a website? What management software I need? What is PPC and CPA and all these numbers? And dedicate to it just a few hours. I'm not saying become an e-commerce expert, but on the C level, on the high level, learn what happens. Who is the best-selling person on Amazon? You will find it. Just go into Amazon, go into jewelry category, and just click on the first item. So probably this guy knows what he does there, and try to see his storefront, what he sells. Exactly as Gadi said, it will also allow you to understand each marketplace. By looking at the top sellers, you understand, okay, what actually the marketplace expects from you. And this is something that you can do while sitting on the sofa with your cup of tea, coffee, whiskey. This is up to you. Or better water at these times. Next, so the 1 week dead time, utilize it. It's a once in 10-year opportunity that we now have. I see in my company, Valigara, that I do things that I was waiting for them for 5 years. And it's amazing. Even that now we have an opposite time, exactly like in Amazon, we are hiring, we are booming, but still it's some industrial silence all over the world. For the people who are already online, again, use this week to analyze what happens with you. There are very known pillars, e-commerce pillars like logistics, customer service, technology, and budgeting, and your product line. Find how you can improve, because there is no business. Yesterday I was speaking to a very nice US business who are our very interesting clients, and we just counted 60% in 1 hour of conversation. We counted 60% increase that we can do in 5 hours of operation in their business. Because on the ongoing, you're doing the minimum required, and you're missing a lot of opportunities. So if you are already in e-commerce, just use this, focuses on logistics, customer service, technology, budgeting, and products. And logistics is shipping and handling, returns, fulfillment. Customer service is how do I improve my response times? How do I cover time zones? On technology is how do I automate things? How do I scale things? On the budgeting, is my monthly budget good enough according to my operational expenses? Can I get into setting up additional things like additional website or additional marketplace? On products, is my marketplace is my product line diversified? Do I have a full stacks? Because actually what we're selling online is not products, it's product information. So how I can improve my product information to sell better online? Did I digitize my products good enough? And then the photography, of course, maybe I can have now some time to create the visualizations, the videos. Maybe I can create additional pack shots for my existing real products. This is up to you, but these are the topics. So use this time to not as a disaster, but as an opportunity. And this opportunity, fortunately, it's once in 12 years or 20 years, 10 years. We are here to help. We work with jewelry retailers, e-tailers all over the world. We do our best to gather webinars, and we have professional groups on Facebook, on LinkedIn. There is plenty of e-commerce articles, jewelry e-commerce articles on our website that you're welcome to read, just to get an idea of what is the next step. We'll be glad to send you the checklists. Am I ready to sell online if you're just starting? If you're looking for a specific provider, we are here for 9 years already, so we have good people around us. We'll be glad to introduce you to. And of course, if you need a supportive technology, this is what we specialize at. What means supportive technology? Of course, you can go online, with pair of hands and do everything manually. And what Valigara does, she just empowers the work of the person who is going online or working online. And this is what we specialize in. And so if you decide to take the step, you will be able to much bigger steps in the same time. So this is how each business, and I see, I think we as business people, as people who run businesses, we have a lot of personal responsibility now, because everybody understands that coronavirus, yes, people are dying, it's bad, and with that, the hardest attack that happens currently on the society is the economics. So we as business people have this responsibility not to sit and wait, but say, yes, we are actually the people who will save this economy. If we give up, if we just stop and hold, then the economy will not recover by itself. And we know that there will be quite a huge mess in this world from the economy point of view. No medicine can exist without strong economy in the country. So this is why I think we will, when we look at it as business people, this is our responsibility to take this challenge and to go to the next level, to find how not to give up, how not to go down, but to take it as an opportunity. So this is how we see, and this is why we are here. We are doing what we are doing. And this is why we decided to do one very challenging, actually, project right now. What we are going to offer in the next month, in the upcoming months, we are quite doing a harakiri, but we see that our personal responsibility at this stage is to help jewelers go online. So Valigara is a professional system, and it requires an onboarding, requires a lot of our investment when we take people online. But we decided that in this situation we don't have too much choice. This is our responsibility as the leading e-commerce system for jewelers. Yeah, not much choice left here, and we're doing it freely. So what we decided, we have created a special package for jewelers for taking Valigara completely free. No setup, no monthly fees. So we believe that the next 3 months will be the deciding ones, and this is why we are giving Valigara free for 3 months. We do not. I have to be very open here. We do not know how this will work out, because normally we provide a lot of support to every jewelry business, and we will not be probably able to provide as we are used to it. But Valigara is a very strong system that allows people to go online. So we think we don't have this privilege not to give it to the world, not to give it to jewelry people. So this is what we're doing. We're now planning. We are already starting right now. We give Valigara for 3 months free, completely, no setup, no monthly fees. There will be limited support. In our perspective, in our vision, what Valigara should do to jewelry businesses, it allows you to create a digital catalog. It's jewelry oriented. You have the gemstones, you have the models stock, you have the virtual inventory management, and of course stock and orders and clients. And Valigara immediately, and I think we worked hard until today to complete this. We have completely revamped our mini sites model, and now the moment that you open Valigara, you have the jewelry e-commerce website completely operational. The moment that you upload your product into Valigara, your website is ready. So you can continue to operate both in your B2B and B2C mode. It's a very established website which jewelers use online, and this will be included in our offer, because we understand that now it's not the time to be too selective. We just need to have an online presence as jewelry people. So there is no need in development or anything. And this will take you into one of the online channels that you will select. So this is what we are planning to run in the next month, and we are working hard toward this. I hope that this inspires you too, not just us as e-commerce people here. So our system will be completely free for anyone who starts using it. And this is what we're into. Now, if there are any questions, you are welcome to ask. We're quite far above the time that we were planning. You're welcome to write any questions. And of course, we'll be available if there are no questions also through our emails, marketing@valigara.com, or my personal. Here is my personal information. I will be always glad to ask any question. Okay, is it possible to merge into Valigara into my Etsy shop? So yes, basically what Valigara does, it manages all online marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, Amazon, Bonanza, Sears, Walmart, and Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all these guys, integrated email marketing, and then Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento. So the idea is to digitize the catalog and then create the online presence. If you already have some online presence, yes, of course. As I said, we work with leading e-commerce sellers in the world. So when they come, they have an established website, and we have an integration process with existing eBay, Etsy, Amazon, whatever it is. Yes. So thank you for the question. Sure, we can integrate with existing websites. Another plan that we have here, we have a lot of questions coming to us. How to actually, what is the technology? How to use the right technology to boost the operation? We plan to run a webinar very, very soon. Normally, we run webinars once a month. I'm not sure that you took a look at our flyer precisely, but this webinar is not because of the corona. We run webinars and meetups once a month. It's always the first Tuesday of the month, so you don't have to guess. The first Tuesday it will be always Valigara e-commerce webinar. We keep inviting people like Gadi, very we know established, maybe not speakers, but professionals from different fields, from logistics, from Amazon experts, from product line experts like Gadi, and we bring the people who concentrate on insurance, on managed services, just to help you get into things. And very nice presentation. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Kara, for the warm words. I hope it was not only nice, but also effective and encouraging and also useful. So please contact us for more information. If there are no additional questions, then I think that we can already finish it for now, because we have our families. Instead of 1 hour planned, we are at 1.5. And Dina writes, thank you. And thank you all guys for taking your time, not just sitting in a deep depression saying, oh my God, this corona ruined my life. No, this is our opportunity and this is our responsibility. So on this optimistic and encouraging words, I will count probably till 10 to make sure that there are no questions more. And this webinar, by the way, it will be available online. We have the webinar section on our website. Give us a day or two. All the webinar recording will be on the website. And if you want to have the presentations, please contact us. We will send it to you. So, thank you very much everyone, and bye for now. Bye, Carol. Bye, and thank you for this great silence that I felt on the radio. Normally, I like dialogues much more, but this is the limitations we have. So thank you very much. Great day to everyone. Enjoy your families, enjoy your business, enjoy this amazing opportunity that we have here once in 10 years of being focused, concentrated on yourself, and I'm sure that it will bring better, best results. How can we have? How can we use the free membership? Just contact us. Just contact us, and we will create the account for you, and that's it. No, by the way, no obligations, no, okay, 3 months if you order for a year. No, just free. You use the system and then no credit cards required, nothing. Great. Great days to everyone. Thank you and bye. Ciao.